Hello and welcome to a special edition of Dishelved with Adam White. I'm here today again to do the Why Haven't I Read These Books Yet tag. Michael K. Vaughn was generous enough to tag me with doing this video, so I thought I'd go ahead and do it since I had a few minutes. Uh, I don't normally do tags. I did the 20 favorite character tags. Didn't get many views for it, but um, I thought I'd go ahead and do this tag since he tagged me, and I will get to that now. So it's Why Haven't I Read These Books Yet? The first one is a classic, and that is the Iliad. I actually have a newer version of this. I got a new box set of the Iliad and the Odyssey. It's I think maybe even a new translation, but it's at the bottom of a big pile of books in my room right now, so I couldn't really get to it, but this one was handier, so. But I read pieces of the Iliad in college, but I've never actually read the whole thing, and I've always really wanted to. And as I've gotten older, it's been gotten, well, I was going to say more of a priority, but if it was a priority, I would have read it by now. But I really, I kind of liked it in college, but there's lots of stuff in college that I didn't like that I like now. Uh, Looking back on it. But so I need to read the Iliad. That's a classic I need to read. A fiction book that I need to read is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Michael K. Vaughn has spoken highly of this book, and I just feel like I need to read it. I just got this book in the last couple of weeks, and it's got some interesting extra stuff in it on the book and the author, and I'm looking forward to reading it. I don't know when I'll get around to it, but it's a fiction book that I definitely want to read, and it's supposed to be really good. So that's my fiction book. Next is nonfiction, and that's Elsa Lanchester herself. Elsa Lanchester, of course, was the bride of Frankenstein in the movie, the classic movie. I've had this autobiography for a while, and I haven't read it. I might read it when I get around towards October, because that's usually when I start thinking around Halloween is when I start wanting to watch those old Universal horror pictures again, and I usually end up doing that. So I might about then do it. If I do, I'll probably do a review of it. But I really want to read this, and I've had it not a greatly long time, but when did this come out? 1983, so it isn't a new book, but it's just a newer edition of it. But it's a book I want to read. I've always loved The Bride of Frankenstein, and I like reading autobiographies of film stars. So that's my next one. Okay, next. Genre fiction. Seasons of Plenty and Mother of Plenty by Colin Greenland. I've read the first book, Take Back Plenty, and I loved it. I don't even remember what it was that got me onto that book, because I had to order them all three used because they're out of print and have been for a long time. And I don't believe they're on Kindle unless they've been put on recently. But I loved Take Back Plenty and the main character, Tabitha Jute. I really enjoyed it, and I've had these since I read the first one, but I just haven't ever gotten around to reading them. And they're great science fiction books. Highly recommend them. I'm sure that these two are just as good as the other. I actually also have a Colin Greenland did a short story featuring some of the secondary characters from the first book, and it was done at a convention where he signed them, and I ordered one on eBay and got it. So I've actually got an autographed short story that he did that took place before the first book. I don't have it where I can grab it. I know where it is, but it's just, it would take way too much effort to get to it right now. But I love Take Back Plenty, and so I'm really needing to get to these, but it's been so long since I've read the first one that I feel like I need to read it again before I read these. And they're fairly thick books, so I need to get to those. I need to get to these sooner than later. Okay, the last book is the oldest book that I have. This is probably not the oldest book that I have, but it's Children of God by Mary Doria Russell. I've had it since probably about 1998, probably. Uh, it's a sequel to The Sparrow. The Sparrow is the first book I ever reviewed on BookTube, and it was a reread for me after about 20 years or so, more than 20 years actually. And this is its sequel, and I've never read it. I always put it off because I love The Sparrow so much. I didn't want to read up everything that had to do with that universe before. I didn't want to do it quickly and then not have anything else to read in it. So 24 odd years later, I still haven't read it, but I really want to. I know I've got older books in my attic that I haven't read, but getting to them would be an extreme hassle. But this is the only one I could think of because I dug it out uh, right right before I started my BookTube channel, and because I wanted to read it, but I read The Sparrow again instead, and I thought, well, I need to read this, but then I just, since I've been doing it, haven't gotten around to it. So this is the oldest book that I have within reach of me that I haven't read yet that I really want to, because I really love The Sparrow. I'd highly recommend reading it, and I'm sure that this is just as good. I've got several other books by Mary Doria Russell too, but they don't take place in this universe. So I want to thank Michael K. Vaughan for tagging me on this, and I hope that was entertaining to you guys, just to see a few of the things that I need to read. And you may be seeing them again coming up here sometime on my channel. So that was my book tag of why haven't I read these books yet, and I will see you guys next week.